I told you before. When the time comes, they will come to us.
Where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Hope break scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people hand innocent they suffer. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river, like sister.
I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so don't forget.
Dr. Cho, Sissiko and others, them train them but them no feedback. Them voice not like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go far,
because I know
they
are trying to take me down.
They suffer.
But even if I'm not around, don't forget.
Mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this talk where they all know. Inside the shadows,
you don't owe them child
small
support.
fire they grow. Freedom they grow.
Don't forget the crimes they committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle.
Ambazonia go stand gidigba. You no go fear night. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this hug go they hollow. Mama Ambazonia, scars they touch story of courage we know they shame.
They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they
son, una conspiracy we go in. Our great boys do the work for the ground. Wanna flag there.
All man a place over day. All man a place over day. Today, I go to talk mostly for pidgin because the message way I want make we go down right to the grassroots. I salute all papa, mommy them. I salute all what picking them. I salute all the soldiers. I salute what buy and sell on them. I salute what people them way na ben seeking them, what boy them and woman them, where they do Okada. We salute all man. We salute even the taxi driver them. We salute the people the way they do transportation from village to town, from town to town, from town to cities, or from village to village. We salute all man. We salute what boys them, what farmers them, we na cocoa people them. We so salute the people that do coffee. We salute all people them, whether you did sell na you make na tomatoes or you did make na potatoes. Whether you did make na cassava for make gari for sell them, or you did make na jama, we salute all man. Even if you did so make na bush mango for make your money, we salute you. Whether you did buy things them from Biafra land, for Nigeria land, you can't sell them from Ambazonia, for make money, for take care of yourself, for build something better for yourself, for build your family. We also salute all now. Today, I'll make a couple of important statements then. I will also give you some details of what they really go on and what people need to start to prepare themselves for. But first, make we take when I go for that side for the state of Momo for Ambazonia, of what the Ambazonia Defense Forces, with the National Liberation Army, of the operation where they don't carry on against the butchers of our people. Make we watch this video we don't come out from ADF headquarters. All right. Now, so the butchers, they will continue to pay a price for their insistent, say they want to occupy Ambazonia. Cameroon will continue to pay high cost for insistent, say must militarily occupy Ambazonia. There is a cost. Our fellow people then, the goals where the leader be set them for now. The liberation struggle for move you from a people where the well know am. From a people where Cameroon be things they say, it don't kill any spirit, any fighting spirit, any spirit of resistance. Cameroon be things they say, over the last 63 years or 64 years, Cameroon be things they say, then they don't kill anything where the Ambazonian people get them as nationalism. Cameroon be things they say, then they don't conquer Ambazonia, they don't take Ambazonia, and they go do whatever they want with that territory without any resistance. Cameroon be things they say, as they finish for buy Nijon Frundi and kill that process, so that they call and say election. Cameroon be things they say, The hope of Ambazonia, it don't finish, and Cameroon don't finally succeed for complete the assimilation process and the integration process. Cameroon don't know, so they never even start the assimilation or the integration, because if they deal with a different set of a new generation, would they think differently, and the way they go approach Cameroon, it could be more than anything Cameroon be ever expect them. It could be more than anything Cameroon be ever think of. It could be more than anything Cameroon be ever plan on. Wait till Dr. Chobi plan for achievement for the Ambazonian people then. Wait till the Ambazonian leader, the goals, the objectives will be set on. The Ambazonian people, they don't make more progress 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times more than what even Dr. Choi Sesef be the thinking for a heart. The progress with the Ambazonian people, they don't make them. It be much, 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 much more than witty, even the conceiver, even witty the leader, it be envisioning. The progress with the collective uprising, it achieve them. It be more than what any Ambazonian be ever expect them of the Ambazonian people and from the Ambazonian people. The launching of the armed resistance campaign as part of the triad approach, what General Ivo build them, what General Ivo create them, what the Ambazonian Defense Forces, they be end up for inspire an entire generation of rebels, of nationalists, of liberators. It be far, 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 far greater than anything with the ancestors they be even think of. With the ADF, it eventually became, with the rise of General Ivomba, with the rise of General Efa, with the rise of the Agaba, which they end up for build them, for create them, for gear for the Ambazonian people then. It be far bigger than anything with themselves they be even think of. The Ambazonian men and women, where they don't live through this occupation system, and they don't taste the terrorism, the barbarism, the dehumanization, the humiliation, the shame, where Cameroon don't put our people through. The deliberate design of poverty for make what people they made be hopeless people. All these things, they add up for give to the Ambazonian people them the most important ingredient where people them need them for be free. Anger. That anger with the Ambazonian Cameroon don't cause them for the Ambazonian people them. That radicalization, now Paul Biya radicalized the Ambazonian people then. Now the CPDM party radicalized the Ambazonian people then. Now the Cameroon B radicalized the Ambazonian people then. Now the Cameroon gendarmes, they radicalized the Ambazonian people then. Now the Cameroon police, now the Cameroon terrorism, now the Cameroon brutality, now the Cameroon atrocities, they radicalize the Ambazonian population. They radicalize Ambazonian mothers, Ambazonian fathers, the radicalized Ambazonian sisters, Ambazonian brothers, Ambazonian uncles, to the point of an armed rebellion. Now that torture, that dehumanization, those beatings, those kale, those arrests, those extrajudicial killing, the burnings of communities and homes, the killings of babies, the execution of grandmothers and grandfathers. Now all those things, they push the Ambazonian people, then, a very peaceful, loving people, it pushed them to a point where they need to survive. We're uprising. The collective defiance. We don't achieve far greater. We don't push the liberation struggle 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times further than witty, even the conceiver of the liberation ideology of which he even get off a mind. So for all Ambazonians, we don't do way better and better and better and better than anything any person it be expect of us and which will be even expect of ourselves. Today, 2016, the international community not be know you, I'm Ambazonia. The United Kingdom House of Commons not be know you. Wait see how you transform yourselves and how we transform ourselves from people where the world don't know them to become an international household name. Every parliament, every senate, every diplomatic mission, from Asia to the Caribbean, from Africa to Europe, from North America to the Middle East, there's no place for this world where Ambazonia they never call Ambazonia a name. You and all we will teach Bia what he will be. Who will be? The Cameroon economy don't be destroyed. Make the state don't become bankrupt. For the first time for Mr. Bia in life, as the former Prime Minister of Cameroon, and over the last 42 years, as the president of the colonial dictator of Cameroon, he never ever confront the people them like we. And that's why they be confused. That's why they resort to a genocide and ethnic cleansing. Because you overwhelm them. You show them. Even in the face of genocide, terrorism, scorched earth policy, you rise up and become the best. So make you understand, you don't take this liberation struggle ahead more than any expectation. You don't do more than what we even be expecting. So now the time this way, you need to celebrate yourself. And you need to be proud of yourself. For be able to stand up and fight injustice. For stand up and fight foreign invasion and foreign occupation. And fight against foreign domination. So that if you give for yourself which no other people can forgive you. We, the Ambazonian people, then, will be capable and will get enough for develop, build Ambazonia more than any other foreign invaders and occupier if you ever think for do and for we. But they not fit do something for we. We they never fit for do and for their own people then. They not fit can clean our streets. We they never know how for clean their own streets. They not fit can give we water where they not get the money and the means or the desire for give their own people the water. They not fit can build with good schools. We they never fit for build them for their own people then. So it be laughable. Say Cameroon one can occupy and govern Ambazonia, where Cameroon never fit for govern Cameroon itself. Cameroon one can reconstruct Ambazonia, where Cameroon never even fit for construct Cameroon. So how you fit reconstruction to you never construct them? That matter past logic. Today they can't tell you that say the one can't do reconstruction. Presidential plan of reconstruction for a place where they never ever construct them. Go for the 3 northern provinces of La République. 70% of the population, they never even go elementary school. So how the country managed develop when 70% of their 3 biggest regions, 70% of their own people them, they never even send them for primary school. They never send them for nursery school. They never send them for primary school. So how those people feel money develop? 70% of the population for they not get water. 80% of the population for they not get light. Chop no day. Then the one can develop now you. The one can help you. You where you get chop, then they not get chop. The one can govern you. You where you be blessed with abundance of minerals of all sorts, whether not chop or not natural resources, you be blessed with. People will get nothing. Now then the one can tell you, say the one can occupy you and for govern you. So the uprising, it don't take you for a place where today, now the Cameroon future today, Cameroon opposition leaders, where if they organize themselves well, now then will be the presidents and vice presidents or prime ministers of Cameroon. Today, now Cameroon opposition leaders, that they can't start for make concessions to the Ambazonian people then. Now Cameroon opposition leaders, that they come now, can they acknowledge the crimes, the war crimes, say their country don't commit them, their army don't commit them, their president don't commit them. Today, now then they can't acknowledge those things. Today, now then they can't acknowledge, say, Mr. Bia crimes, the killings, the genocide, the destruction, the rape. It don't push the Ambazonian people way to a point where independent, now the only option where the people they now they feel accept them. I want make una year for una self. For the statement where Cameroon, their own agent, whether they call it say Agbobala, when I hear the statement, when the government of Canada be invited, make it come for the Canadian House of Commons, when they be do, when the Canadian government, the Canadian Parliament, it be do a review of the Cameroon-Ambazonian conflict, and they be gather data for put a policy position for the Canadian House of Commons. Make una take una own ear and una own eye, una hear wetin Agbobala he tell the Canada government for inside Canada Parliament, where they call and say House of Commons. Una hear.
So that is how positions adding because of the way people were killed, the way people were arrested. That is how positions adding to now we have a separatist move. But the government still had an opportunity to find a solution. It was still easy for them to at least try to address the problem. But at no point in time have they attempted in finding a solution to the crisis. When they released us on the 31st of August, it was a golden opportunity to release all those who were detained. But they choose to release three of myself, Justice Aya, who used to be a sitting Supreme Court justice, was arrested and detained for 7 months without any trial. But they released some of us and left the others in jail. So all this hardened position in such a way that if you talk to the average person in Anglophone Cameroon, separation is now en vogue. You know, now the majority of the people would not settle for anything less than separation. The majority of the people now are asking for a referendum for them to determine their fate. But we still believe that something can still be done. Notwithstanding the situation, we can at least have a dialogue. We can at least have a negotiated settlement. You know, the diaspora living in Canada also would have a role to play, you know, because they are very influential. They have the money, they have a voice, that we can involve them also in trying to see how we can find a holistic solution. So the problem cannot just be solved internally without including the diaspora. I'll give you an example. Cameroon has a way of blacklisting Cameroonians by birth who are out of the country. Yes, some of them might have a dual nationality, but we have Cameroonians who have arrived at the airport with a visa and they were sent back because they encourage descent abroad. We cannot solve the problems in Cameroon without addressing the issue of the diaspora. We need to find a way that we would grant amnesty or clemency to those who are living abroad, who have not been convicted, but who are in a blacklist by the government, meaning that there are people who have parents in Cameroon, their parents die, they cannot come to Cameroon for fear of being arrested. So if these people cannot come to Cameroon as we know, they would rather prefer to come to Cameroon, which is Ambazonia. So we believe that the government of Canada can do a lot in trying to create an enabling environment, in putting pressure on the government to call for a dialogue, and at best ask the people of Cameroon, ask the government to organize a referendum.
Yes, and thank you very much. Unfortunately,
no, I'm going to tell you this one. Now Cameroon, their own agent. Now in that, he tell the international community up front. Said the way the Cameroon government, the Cameroon occupation military, and the Cameroon CPDM party and their beneficiaries of the occupation, the way they don't treat the Ambazonian people, them, the rape where they don't commit them, the houses the way they don't burn them, the more than 70,000 people they don't kill them, the destruction where they don't cause them for Ambazonia. They are crimes. Now I don't push the Ambazonian people them for take a position of total independence. And the thing that they tell the Canada Parliament, wait till you don't achieve them as Ambazonians for such a short period of time. It don't put you now for a position of strength. You know bigger strength for 1961. You know bigger strength for 1972. You know bigger strength for 1980, 1990. You get no strength for 2000, for the early 2000s. Now for the first time, through the strategy and the infrastructure, including the armed resistance campaign, it don't put you for a place where today, and them now that they tell the world, say, look, those people now are the only thing this way they want them. For live together, it be impossible. Then you get people them like The primary opposition leaders for La République now come to, they come openly, can't acknowledge them for in front all man. Say, look, the crimes where Mr. Biya don't commit them, the crimes where the B they don't commit them, the crimes where the genocide and the killings of more than 70,000 people there, it don't push those people to a point where nothing other way if we change things now. And so the staff will make concessions. Say, look, we want back una. Make una no go. Make una no go. Would back. If we they will fit talk for even try for go back for the 1961 arrangement. Cameroon did now make concessions in advance, even when negotiations never start. That is power. That's how you win the game. That's how you put yourself for a position, for a situation where the opponent, the occupier, is start for make concessions when negotiations never start. That's when you know you, Ambazonia, don't become independent. Ambazonia don't become free. Because now you know they don't recognize you. If they not been recognize you, they're not for start for make concessions. They're not for start for tell you, say, we beg, make you go back for the 1961 arrangement. Where you never even enter table. That is victory. I don't know what you call victory. If you feel come for this far, you get them start for make those kind of statements. Now, when they don't ever make those kind of statements for your life, I want to talk something for all Ambazonians. A liberation war not been only an armed resistance campaign. So, not been only the fighters they need for do the work. The armed resistance campaign, not just 25% of the overall strategy. So if you depend on 25% of your strategy for give 100% results, you fool yourself. The armed resistance is supposed to achieve its own 25% of the objectives where it already achieved. The political institutions, they're supposed to do most of the work. And part of the work, now lobbying. For the lobbying in the United States, the lobby for Australia, the lobby for Europe, the lobby for the Middle East. The political leadership, it got to be much more aggressive, publicly known. All right? You need a political structure will be attractive, will articulate the desires, the hope, the aspirations, and make the argument on behalf of the people then consistently. Not been a once a month, not been a every 2 months. Because the donors, they need for know what you stand for and why they need for continuously support you. So if the donors, your donor base, it not be connected to your ideology and the mission and the conversation and communication on a consistent basis, then you get an isolated political leadership will not really be engaged. So the armed resistance don't do wonderful. Collective civil disobedience, it don't do wonderful. The political leadership now need to take all of these things and now get into an aggressive mode for resource mobilization. Because when the population it be excited, it get enthusiasm, then money go to flow for lobby, for legal fees, for everything with the organization need them. Especially the Ambazonia Governing Council not supposed to lack money. It's supposed to get money to. If you do so good things, go outside and tell the people, sell the people, connect with the people, make the people, they make them feel happy, make them feel hopeful. All right. I want just tell and I say the La République election will take place. Dr. Chodon sent a message to Cameroon opposition parties. If the Cameroon opposition parties they not follow the ideas, the suggestions we Paul Biya don't give them, I wanted them today say, may they forget about the 2025 October election. If the Cameroon opposition parties they not follow the time where Dr. Chodon taken for think as a political strategist, can give them the best advice as to how they go beat Mr. Biya for this 2025 election, may they just forget them. Of the 80 names of the 80 candidates where they don't file application, go for election, go take all the requirements for a person for qualify as a presidential candidate. Then they follow all those requirements, they follow all the legal procedures, and then compile that document, go pay the fees, and go deposit them for election. Of all the 80 candidates, including Mr. Biya, now only one candidate at this moment where election don't approve him, saying that person don't qualify as a presidential candidate. Guess who that candidate be? Mr. Paul Biya. At this moment, even Joshua C, they never approve it. Kamto, they never approve it. Libio, they never approve it. Muna, they never approve him. Edith Kawala, they never approve him. Dr. Cho, it is send a message to these people then and give them the best advice. With these people, they figure a chance for knock Mr. Biya out. If they not follow the advice, for now, we could live now with the advice with Dr. Cho. They don't give Cameroon opposition leaders. We'll talk for now tomorrow. For now, make una watch this message with Dr. Cho don't send them from to Cameroon opposition leaders and give them a strategy of sense, common sense. Wait till they must do them, and if they not do them, may they forget about the 2025 election. When I listen, I wanna watch.
My fellow people, 2 days ago, I learned over the BBC radio about the candidacy of Biya to the presidency of Cameroon. Apart from making Cameroon a laughing stock, portraying its people as unwilling accomplices to his destructive tyranny, Biya's continuous reign poses an existential threat to the people of Ambazonia. His removal and the destruction of the violence-prone fascist ideology of the CPDM is in the interest of stability, peace, justice, and hope for both the peoples of Ambazonia and Cameroon. I know the leadership out there has asked you not to participate in the elections of another country. I join my voice to appeal to every Ambazonian in Ambazonia and any territory subject to its jurisdiction to boycott this election. The first time you voted on anything related to Cameroon, you lost your country. That was 11 February 1961. The second time you lost an imposed federation. That was 20th May 1972. The third time you voted, our territory was under a state of emergency for more than 3 months. That was 11 October 1992. The reaffirmation of our independence on October 1, 2017 put an end to this experimentation in electoral legitimation of tyranny. My people, in 1957, the French installed André-Marie Bida as prime minister to serve its geopolitical and security interests with the support to destroy nationalist movements seeking true independence for Cameroon. A year later, a more potent individual in the name of Amadou Ahidjo took over the reins of the state as prime minister and continued with a regime of pogrom, massacres, and a campaign of terror against the Cameroonian people. A state anchored in violence was being birthed with external support and silence. Multipartyism was violently being replaced with totalitarianism, consultation and negotiation rejected for violent zero-sum outcomes. The birth of that state hailed as independent on 1st January 1960 is today, 65 years later, a moral indictment to all the architects of its creation and the bystanders of its perpetration. For over 56 years, as Prime Minister and President, Biya has perfected totalitarianism, yielding to regular elections he never loses, free speech that ends you in jail, freedom of assembly that ends you in the grave, a constitution marketed as anchored in the separation of powers, whereas he alone determines whether you live or die, and he alone guarantees its independence. He has recruited his opponents through coercion and blackmail to legitimize the fraud and become part of the system of loot, exiled, jailed, or murdered those who refuse to yield. Take note that all of Biya's adversaries within the CPDM are either in jail, dead, or totally emasculated. All those formerly in the opposition from the 90s are all dead, integrated, or emasculated. The choices presented to his opponents are stark and chilling, and the same fate awaits the current opposition in Cameroon unless they change tact. And I invite them to take the path less contemplated and avoid the exit of least resistance. This is what the opposition can consider. 1. Come together and agree on a 2-year transition dedicated to 2 outcomes. 1. Convene a constitutional conference that develops a democratic constitution, an electoral code, and a timetable for elections within 2 years. 2. Begin immediate pre-talks with Ambazonia with the view of establishing a negotiations agenda as a foundation for genuine negotiations to commence immediately a legitimate elected government is in place in the next 2 years. 2. Establish a shadow government to begin work on the transition program, one that reflects the 8 regions of Cameroon. Select 2 persons from amongst your midst or neutral individuals to lead the shadow government as president and prime minister within a 2-year mandate. With a 2-year mandate, the presidential candidate for the shadow government should be presented as candidate for the elections in October. And one other caveat, it is very important the opposition in Cameroon notes the following. If you consider yourself as the strongest opposition candidate, it is your responsibility to walk across the aisle and meet the weak ones and consult and make concessions to them. It is not their responsibility to walk over to you to make concessions. All of you can decide that none of you put their candidacy for these elections and find a neutral person to head the shadow government with the view that after 2 years, you can stand as president. Number 4, should Biya hijack the outcome, which is a near certainty, immediately transform the shadow government into the new government of Cameroon, seek international recognition and protection. If provided with military support, Ambazonia will be ready to host that shadow government. A shadow government is the statement of intent. With such a move, you are letting Atanganji, Biya, Owona, and the other petty criminals know that there will be a new sheriff in town. You are showing backbone that will win you respect from friends and foes. Notify the European Union, notify the IMF, the World Bank, the AGB, notify France, the United States, Great Britain, Canada, Nigeria, South Africa, and others to cease all financial support to the junta. All Cameroon ambassadors abroad must be required to shift allegiance or be fired. While no elections will take place in Ambazonia, should you people show backbone with a clear commitment to begin pre-talks with Ambazonia, especially after the elections of October, I will consult with other Ambazonians and consider calling on Ambazonians resident in Cameroon to support your platform. The leadership of the shadow government and possibly the new government must take all measures to avoid being kidnapped and detained. Biya and his cabal of looters must never again be allowed to use the institutions of the state to perpetuate a regime of violence that has made Cameroon an international ridicule. You cannot put your faith in miracles. A plan to win, defend the victory, and end the reign of the Biya regime is what will distinguish you from past leaders. As for us Ambazonians, we are holding the line until total victory for the 56th state in the continent of Africa. You can count on our support.
People who died, but we will find a solution, because we are still convinced until today that if we put our heads and our hearts together, we'll come out with a genuine solution, with a lasting solution to that problem. Now, if I'm president, if I was in capacity of ruling the country immediately, what I've said, and I will repeat again, first of all, release the political prisoners. Proclaim a ceasefire in the region, meaning that the army should be withdrawn from the street and sent back to the barracks. Let the police, maintain the normal order in this region, instead of sending B and so on and so forth. Once you have released the political prisoners, because we are in a political crisis, no matter how much military will send there, it will still remain a political issue. So we have to resolve it politically. So once you have released the political prisoners, give them some time, to recover physically, because some of them have been in prison for the past 5 or 6 years. They have to recover, to make sure that they have to make a checkup to make sure that they are on good feet. Give them a room for that, and also give them a time to come together, to reflect, to discuss, and come out with the position as Anglophone involved in that crisis. Before you start any discussion or any dialogue, because if you just pick up some people to come and start organizing a dialogue, you will not have, the flavor of what those who really represent Anglophone, or in this case the fighters on the ground, are looking for. Thirdly, build up confidence measures between government, central government, and people there. And how do we do that? By bringing back people who flee away, who are in Nigeria, who are in the French-speaking part of the country, and invest in the rebuilding of villages which were burned down to ashes. You can rebuild them quickly. People will feel secure and really feel as Cameroonian. You can now start, organizing a dialogue. And to make sure that you have the confidence of the other side, because, there is a sort of defiance of the English-speaking fighters, or those who are fighting for separation, that they don't have confidence in the government, in central government. You can only carry on a genuine dialogue with them if you have facilitators, observers or facilitators. I will not say guarantors, because guarantors is something which is really stronger, but facilitators, international facilitators from the AU, African Union, from the United Nations, and some friendly country, historically speaking. It might be the UK, it might be the US, it might be France, and some other country probably. If they assist as facilitators to a dialogue, then I think that the outcome of the dialogue will be, will be respected, and people will feel, have the sense that now everybody have what he was fighting for, and we can really resolve the problem with that way, with a lasting solution. And my option, and the option of my political party, is quite clear. Since at the very beginning, at the early stage of that crisis, we were favorable to the application of the 1996 Constitution, decentralization with the special statutes for the two English-speaking regions. But now it's too late. Decentralization even though you add special statute, is too small and too late. That's why we favor now federalism. Even for the symbolic reason, you cannot avoid, you cannot escape from introducing or reintroducing federalism in this system if you want to resolve the problem seriously.
Voilà donc les propositions du MRC concernant la résolution de la crise anglophone, retour au fédéralisme. Alors, on va à présent, Maurice Kamto, permettre, c'est un des points forts, des temps forts de cette émission aujourd'hui, permettre à quelques Camerounais, triés sur le volet, qui ont bien voulu se prêter au jeu de vous poser des questions concernant leurs différents secteurs pour avoir l'avis et la position du MRC.
Yes, Eddie, we'll start first of all with Jean Collins de Fossokeng, the National Trade Union's Workers of Land Transport Sector.
Welcome to ACN.
Je vais dire aux anglophones, a first fool is not a fool. A second fool, you become foolish.
While Cho Ayaba and the Never Again generation, they preach independence and self-defense. Team Surrender and federalism, they tell our people, say me they give up. While Ambazonian fighter them, they beat Cameroon B and gendarme them, battlefield. Black leg them, they self-fighter them, Cameroon army. It don't bad to the poor Bia Almighty. Don't it beg. Sia. Pardon, comment sia they beg. They preach unity and elimination for colonial boundaries. That one a puppet when a France put him there to help them exploit Cameroon. 2 cubes of sugar don't deny for melt. This La Republic former commissioner for a video, all we don't see him. He talk him. He tell Ambazonia they say make una no gree for nobody. First fool, no be fool, but second fool, na confirmed fool based on the description for that video. You know, francophone, they will never tell you, l'homme anglophone réfléchit gauche. Say, Englishman, the thing na left. Say, we na dog kokombia kode. Them say, giving up no. Go prove their point 100%.
Because for years, they treat me like the Amber man. They didn't treat me like, say, I know they inside Amber. They treat me like, say, we'll be amongst the Amber men, them, now we create all the polling, and so they treat me. So yes, all the Amber men, now my brother them, now my cousin them, now relative them, no be people the way I fit throw them out so because now people the way now blood relationship you get Amber men them way they way now people the way now your cousin, also your uncle, also your mommy, auntie. Yeah, one the way they don't lost their life them, all that in them, yes. So now I fit talk say me, I be peaceful Amber man.
True for life now. If you fool me 2 times, then I may be that fool. 8 years don't pass. We don't resist Cameroon for 8 years. It's a battlefront. 8 years don't go by. We don't stand our ground. This shows a lot about the Ambazonian spirit and the strength we'll get them. It take Cameroon by surprise. When I remember, time minister tell Honorable Wiba, c'est qu'est-ce que vous allez faire? They don't know say they don't neutralize me, no. 2 cubes of sugar is a basin. Ambazonia giving up no be part of the plan. We no go transfer the very problem to the next generation. Lie. For Cameroon, for their country, for their eye, all we know, how did they see we? They don't even see we like 3rd class citizens, no. They see we will not belong to their country. The only problem I say will they for their island farm. Some mine where they can mine their gold, they can develop their country. That's what they see we. They didn't see we like citizens of Cameroon. You will talk English for you, they will tell you to parle patois. You feel say they don't know you talk na English. They know. They just want to insult you. That hate for inside French, my heart, no be today it start. It dey deep inside their soul. But you see Team Surrender and Federalists, then they still want belong. We'll get a whole beautiful country with all you will need them. Some people only want them go back for master. He has the chop for master under a table, the chop crumbs. Some people get problem, eh? Now really true say for go school, no means you get sense. If you get sense for book, but for common sense, you know common. Cameroon no be know, say this generation will rise, will patriot them. The never again generation for Cho Ayaba. Where they got doesn't know pa Vongola. We go meet you for fee. Now method by method, block by block, we go buy gun them. People say, oh, Ayaba na warmonger. Ayaba tell people say, we na go march for 1,000 years. March from London, New York, Paris. Nothing no go happen because the international community no get not in the rule-based system. White man create that system now to protect their interests. If you never understand white man mentality, we're not going to march for 1,000 years, we're not ever get independence. Pick gun, shoot. Yes, shoot your way to freedom. People kosh Ayaba. Today, this revolution still dey on. The war of independence they go on because Ayababi get a solution. When no man will bring that solution on the table. If we be the march na march, they will not feel with you. We not even they exist today. Look place where they people they don't know where they go on. But when they say, oh, Prime Minister the wrong boya. Frankfurt they come out talk and say Anglophone man they win election, they rig am. Because no one Anglophone for be president. Why do no one Anglophone will be president? Because we not be up to 3rd grade for their country. We be that they are slave them. How slave go do rule for master a house? You go see PhD holder them, doctor them, fellows, masters holder them. They see preaching more stay in Cameroon. Who order book where they go school for good waiting for school. If they no see and say we go be better on our own than to be with Cameroon. After 60 years, they still no get sense. They still preach federation inside Cameroon. Now really true. Say common sense no, it's not common. If you go book all your life, but you don't get common sense. Ambazonia, una imagine an Ambazonia which is free and independent. Would decide a foreign policy, or state policy, or national policy, or train or army, print or currency. Harness our resources, develop our country. Kata the plane a play. The resources for Ambazonia, Kata the plane a play. But some of you still want to go see the she don't under master a table, me the thief from a farm, can't build the side, then the tray crumbs will be chopper. Now which kind of dullness the worry some Ambazonia them? No, the game, you know, go end. You go only end with independence. There is no going back to Cameroon. Cameroon don't lose the battle. We don't humble Frenchman. They don't look now way for kind dialogue. If you say that dialogue will make the problem or solve the problem, that dialogue will have a calm way so that after so other 15 or 20 years they will come back again. To say Atlantic states be part of Littoral and Savannah states be part of West Province. That is the plan. They no will ever change until we break away from these people. Now thief people who their evil gay lesbian lifestyle, drink picking their blood, no be people that will stay with them. They don't corrupt our elite completely. Even in a free Ambazonia, all Maui self who Cameroon elite system go retire. They no go bring that evil where they copy them from that side to Ambazonia. When I take a listen to 20 man they talk, the former police commissioner of Cameroon.
Et prééminente quand même. Oui, les anglophones, Biya a toujours considéré les anglophones comme les sous-hommes. Les anglophones ne comptent pas beaucoup pour Biya. C'est pour cela même que ses collaborateurs peuvent les mépriser. La preuve, vous voyez ce qu'est le Premier ministre du Cameroun. Quel rôle joue le Premier ministre? Et c'est pour ça que moi je vais dire aux anglophones, a first fool is not a fool. A second fool, you become foolish. Les anglophones, vous ne pouvez pas, nous savons tous que les anglophones aiment le Cameroun. Ils aiment notre pays. Mais vous ne pouvez pas, ce n'est pas possible que vous continuez à endurer ce que vous endurez. Le Cameroun a besoin de vous. Vous aimez le Cameroun a besoin de vous. Mais Biya veut à tout prix vous pousser, tout au moins vous a tellement martyrisé. Il s'est assis sur le pétrole qui est extrait du sud-ouest. Ça a été sa propriété pendant plus de 30 ans. Il n'y a que 10 ans aujourd'hui qu'on essaie de mettre ça dans le budget du Cameroun. Mais avant ça, le pétrole du Cameroun était la propriété des Biya. Le pétrole extrait en zone anglophone. Donc, quand tout cela est fait, il faut que le peuple anglophone se réveille. Et moi, j'en veux particulièrement aux hommes en tenue anglophone. Parce que on ne peut pas vous donner les armes, on dit tuez vos parents, tuez vos mères, brûlez vos villages. Parce que la tendance aujourd'hui est à recruter les hommes en tenue du nord-ouest et du nord-ouest qu'on envoie au sud-ouest, et les hommes en tenue du sud-ouest qu'on envoie au nord-ouest pour faire le sale boulot. Il suffit que le peuple anglophone, on ne vous envoie pas de prendre les armes, il suffit que les hommes en tenue anglophone, policiers, militaires et gendarmes, qu'ils déposent leurs tenues et leurs armes devant qui, le sous-préfet, qui le préfet, qui le gouverneur, et dire que tant que la crise anglophone n'est pas réglée, ils ne travaillent plus.
On dit premier gaou n'est pas gaou, c'est deuxième gaou qui est nyatao.
So that is how positions harden because of the way people were killed, the way people were arrested. That is how positions harden to now we have a separatist move. But the government still had an opportunity to find a solution. It was still easy for them to at least try to address the problem. But at no point in time have they attempted in finding a solution to the crisis. When they released us on the 31st of August, it was a golden opportunity to release all those who were detained. But they choose to release three of myself, Justice Aya, who used to be a sitting Supreme Court justice, was arrested and detained for 7 months without any trial. But they released some of us and left the others in jail. So all this hardened position in such a way that if you talk to the average person in Anglophone Cameroon, separation, it's now en vogue. You know, now the majority of the people would not settle for anything less than separation. The majority of the people now are asking for a referendum for them to determine their fate. But we still believe that something can still be done. Notwithstanding the situation, we can at least have a dialogue. We can at least have a negotiated settlement. You know, the diaspora living in Canada also would have a role to play, you know, because they are very influential. They have the money, they have a voice, that we can involve them also in trying to see how we can find a holistic solution. So the problem cannot just be solved internally without including the diaspora. I'll give you an example. Cameroon has a way of blacklisting Cameroonians by birth who are out of the country. Yes, some of them might have a dual nationality, but we have Cameroonians who have arrived at the airport with a visa and they were sent back because they encourage descent abroad. We cannot solve the problems in Cameroon without addressing the issue of the diaspora. We need to find a way that we would grant amnesty or clemency to those who are living abroad, who have not been convicted, but who are in a blacklist by the government, meaning that there are people who have parents in Cameroon, their parents die, they cannot come to Cameroon for fear of being arrested. So if these people cannot come to Cameroon as we know, they would rather prefer to come to Cameroon, which is Ambazonia. So we believe that the government of Canada can do a lot in trying to create an enabling environment, in putting pressure on the government to call for a dialogue, and at best ask the people of Cameroon, ask the government to organize a referendum.
Yes, and thank you very much. Unfortunately,
fellow compatriots, ladies and gentlemen, at long last, here we are in Buea. Here we are in Buea to celebrate the 50th anniversary of our reunification. As the English people say, better late than never. In fact, after a long period of preparation, we are finally glad to be here at this historic town of Buea, the town of legendary hospitality. I am glad to be in Buea, the bedrock of our reunification. History has not forgotten that Buea was the headquarters of West Cameroon. History has not forgotten that Buea was the capital of southern Cameroon.
If you're asking my personal opinion to keep Cameroon one must be divisible, because it's a cliche that Cameroon is one and indivisible, because it's not true. Culturally we are divisible, language-wise we are divisible, the law-wise we have inherited that. So anybody who says Cameroon is one and indivisible is a fallacy. And so we would have to handle that issue very squarely and objectively. And that's what I call the truth. The truth must prevail. There is no doubt that there are people of both sides, that cherish their heritage. And the only way of keeping Cameroon together is to respect the respective heritages that we do have. If you're asking my personal opinion to keep Cameroon one must be divisible, because it's a cliche that Cameroon is one and indivisible, because it's not true. Culturally we are divisible, language-wise we are divisible, the law-wise we have inherited that. So anybody who says Cameroon is one and indivisible is a fallacy. And so we would have to handle that issue very squarely and objectively. And that's what I call the truth. The truth must prevail. There is no doubt that there are people of both sides, that cherish their heritage. And
I told you before, when the time comes, they will come to us.
Where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Hope break scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people and innocent they suffer. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river, like sister.
I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so don't forget.
Dr. Cho, Sissiko and others, them train them but them no fit bow. Them voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go,
because I know they are trying to take me down.
Children, they suffer.
But even if I'm not around, don't forget.
Mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out windows, they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this talk where they all know. Inside these shadows,
you don't owe them child support.
Fire they grow. Freedom they grow.
Don't forget the crimes they committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle.
Ambazonia go stand gidigba, you no go fear night. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out windows, they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this hug go they hollow. Mama Ambazonia, stars they touch the courage we know they shame.
They said they could fight. They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they
son, una conspiracy, we go in. Our great boys do the world for the ground. And the flag is going up. Please God, we have accepted to be one Ambazonia. I'm a young somewhere reporting from Baba Kitunga. Watch and see what is happening in the palace. You see the population, we have about 10,000 people here holding the flag. This is our flag. It shall remain here until the day that we have our independence. The day is not far from now. We know 1st October will be the same thing.
Welcome to ACN.